Hello everyone, this is Grisu from the single player forum of the Pure Diablo community. As promised some time ago, I wanted to record a gameplay video of a tournament character from one of the single player forum tournaments. And if you're familiar with the Pure Diablo community, you probably know all about this. But if you're not and by some mistake stumble upon this video and, I don't know, manage to get past my initial ramblings, it's a community that has been online for over 20 years now, I think, and I've been active on it since 2006, and people started to create some kind of additional restrictions and role-playing elements to Diablo 2 in order to get some new game experience. So this is how I mostly play Diablo 2, that is in kind of tournament play. So I'll talk you through tournaments in general and this tournament specifically once I start the game. As you can see, I already chose an Assassin and named her Karrin, a huge Dresden Files fan here, so I know the hair color is off, but well, I don't know, smacking people's heads and so on is just Karen Murphy's style, I guess. So yeah, that's for starters. As you might have noticed, I'm no native speaker and I've never done a gameplay video or recording of gaming or anything at all, so please bear with me. There might be some awful stretches of silence or rambling or lacking for words or what do I know, so please don't be too harsh with me, but I'm very well, like I'd be very glad if you have some suggestions. Yeah, like I said, some pronunciation difficulties here for me. If you have suggestions for me for the recordings or something like that, yeah, please go on. Also, not all of the fantasy type words might be pronounced correctly because they are all made up, like Chamrune. I don't know if it's Cham or whatever is how it's pronounced because I lack the intuition of a native speaker how it could be pronounced, so maybe it has some German touches to it sometimes. Okay, let's get started. It's a hardcore character, of course, because one of the rules of tournament play is to play hardcore characters. Some choose to play single softcore characters and are kind of disqualified on first death. So if you're familiar with Diablo 2, you know the beginning. There's Warif here who tells us about
Greetings,
the
stranger.
happenings.
I'm not surprised to see your kind here. Many adventurers.
Yeah, I just skipped that. I have to check if the in-game sounds are too loud, but I won't be playing for long today, so I hope it's not too bad if it is too loud compared to my voice. So, I already typed in players 8 command. You're probably familiar with that by adding it to the command line of the game, but otherwise you could just open the console, type /players8, and you're set for a simulated game of 8 unpartied players to get more experience, more drops, and so on. I like to play with the auto map on all the time and not the minimap, but the overlay. I know it's confusing for most people probably, but I really lack orientation if I don't do it. So let's get started to clear the Den of Evil. Yes. As you might know if you know me from
They'll
the
never see me coming.
single player community, my playstyle is heavily influenced by Qian sounds. I think the in-game sounds are a bit too loud for me. Wait a second. Maybe it's better that way. Well, it's heavily influenced by Qian sounds, who is, well, kind of juggernaut when it comes to single pass untwinked play. I wonder why my key bindings don't work properly for this character. I have changed it. Wait a second. Okay, no, that's not my kind of key bindings. How I just load the defaults from me. Yes, that's it. And then it should work. Yes. Okay, back again. Um, so the first level up. As I said, my playstyle is heavily influenced by Sons. He's a Swedish player and hasn't been online for a few months. But oh, the first chip top ace, that's great. And he, well, was kind of a digital mentor for me, because when I started at the single player forums, I didn't know very well how to play in tournaments. And yeah, you will hear his name more often, I guess. So, tournaments. It's a kind of additional challenge for the game, where there are kind of restrictions and a story behind it. In this case, Babyhell from the forum made a tournament that's loosely based on kind of randomization, and where you initially have no restrictions other than that you have to be hardcore or be disqualified on first death. But the story is that after each boss kill, that boss kind of curses you and damns one of your skills that from now on can't be used anymore. So there are some quirks to it and some exceptions, but that's basically what's it all about. Yeah. Um, so the thing is, you could potentially like pump a skill early on and then try to get lucky and not get it damned. But if it gets damned, it's kind of bad for you. So what I will try to do is spread my points over the skills to prevent future locks on skills. Because say like after Andariel curses Fists of Fire, and I'm not allowed to place any points in Fists of Fire anymore. So each skill that comes after Fists of Fire, if I haven't already put a point in it, is automatically not available anymore to me. So Claws of Thunder, Blades of Ice, Phoenix Strike, and so on are out of bounds for me just because I didn't put a point in it. So there are 15 early skills that that could be damned by Andariel, and I guess I would probably put one in at least each one of those skills. I will have to check on that too. Really, for the start of the game, I don't need any skills at all. What I will try to do too is to explain my reasoning why I put some points into certain skills, but be aware that the Assassin is the character I'm the least familiar with. I really don't know much about claws and claw fighting and so on and skills. I played a Phoenix Striker, untwinked, single pass till Hell difficulty and in Hell difficulty, but that's been, I don't know, like 7 years ago or even more. Yeah, so let's finish this first few steps. As you see, I really pick up everything because I know it's not worth much and probably I shouldn't do that, like low quality boots, damaged buckler, but I really try to get as much gold as possible early on for gambling and so on. And you might be astonished by how many town returns I do have to do. That lengthens the playing time a lot, and I think most people don't have the patience for it, but it's my kind of play style and I'll stick to it. Please drop me a PM if I talk too much. Okay, back to town, back to Charcy to sell the stuff. Okay, I really don't need those things. I already have my starting buckler, so no need for that. I could dual wield. I'm not sure if that's really better than a shield, because as I said, I'm not really familiar with assassins. No need to identify a kind of low-level unidentified items that I don't want to use, because Scroll of Identify costs way more gold than the difference I'd get for identifying it, so it goes away unidentified. I keep those fulminating potions or gas potions and so on, because they are really good early on if you lack the fighting power to get around tough fights or mob fights. But I sell my potions because I don't need those mana potions. Yeah, I keep those. Um, And the first thing you
What can
should
I do for
do
you?
when you start the game is, and you try to play this untwinked single pass, full clears like I do, um, to get your strength to 36, because then you can shop for a armor with 3 open sockets, and where you will want to put those shiny gems like the chip topaz here to get better magic find scores. This is important because I do single pass play, and every point of magic finding can be the percentage that was needed to get a better drop, and sometimes it really gets the train rolling. Say you find a Gull Dagger early on with 100% magic find, and you equip it, and you let your mercenary do the killing for you, then you're really about to have some nice good rares and sad and unique items drop. So yeah, you probably know all that if you're familiar with the single player forum, but still, for the off chance you are not, I will try to explain that. Okay. Um, why 36 strength? Because that's the strength needed for ring mail, and that's the first armor with 3 open sockets. A body armor with 4 open sockets is only available from Act 5 and later, so no chance to get that early on. Yeah, those strangling gas potions are really nice, because as I said, if you're struggling against some bosses or mobs, it's really hard to beat early on. Okay, another level up. As I said, I probably won't be putting too much points in anything now. Just trying to get started and see if the video recording works and how it's free. I skipped the Den of Evil for now because what I do is I try to get to the first waypoint as soon as possible and then go back to the den. You don't have to do that. Oh, a scepter, that's nice because it's the most damaging weapon early on for most characters. I don't actually know if it's true for the assassin, because a Qatar has 4 to 7 damage, whereas a scepter, oh, it's ethereal. Well, of course it has more damage then, but it might not be true for the assassin because of the attack speed. I have to check on that, if it holds true for her too. If you have any questions at all about claws, you have to ask Maxikak. I don't know if it's pronounced correctly, but it's how my mind tells me to pronounce it. He's one of the moderators on the single player forum, and has, I don't know, like, he could write various dissertations on assassins and claw damage and staff mods and so on, and probably, I don't know, yeah, that still won't be sufficient to encompass his knowledge about the assassin. So I might check out some of his guides later to see what I am looking for early on. Yeah, not much to do then. Poke those guys, pick up everything like I said I would. Do full clears, that is, really explore everything and all. Pick up everything, turn over every stone. I don't want it to do that, but misclick the loose boulders here Yeah, and the loose boulder there. I'm still not so familiar with the Diablo 2 Resurrection graphics, and sometimes I miss boulders or something like that, or chests that I would have noticed in Legacy. I don't know if you have the same problem. So here's Flavie, or Flavi, or I don't know how you pronounce her. Um, I really didn't want to kill those two because they're already, well, kind of in the cold plains. So I try to avoid that because, as I said, it's single pass, and the rules are that you can't clear an area where you already that you already cleared. Well, you can go back like to town and so on, but if you stop your gameplay on a certain point, you shouldn't kill or clear an area, kill monsters or clear an area a second time. So I try to avoid that. Um, I wanted to say some things more about tournaments. You are probably wondering, well, how do they check if you're not if everyone's acting according to the rules, if there's no one to watch over it. If you're wondering, that tells me that probably you're not a member of the single player forum, because the thing is that it's a very, I don't know, like a grown-up community with lots of trust involved, where you really need to get to know each other, and there are lots of time lots of time is
I
invested
can't
in
carry
getting
anymore.
to know each other, and yeah, so getting a feeling for who's that you're talking to, and there's really,
I can't
well,
carry anymore.
not well, it's a kind of mature community, and we do this for our fun and not to prove something to our peers or something like that. So yeah, um, and if you remember, well, of course I don't have to explain it to you. So what the community is about is we're doing no cheating, um, no further modifications than um, extended stash in the form of an application called GoMule. It's simply for muling on and off things that you can't keep in your inventory otherwise. It allows for the
Yes?
pursuit of the grail, that is to find all items in the game. And you always have to look out early on for those throwing knives because they are worth a lot, like 480 gold for an item that only takes 2 spaces. That's a lot more than bolts, as you can see, or even armor spaces. Those, again, don't identify them if you don't want to use them, because the scroll will be more costly than what you get, most of the time at least. I do identify those rings, of course, early on because I want to use those. I don't need keys as an assassin. One thing I had to learn, I don't know, the hard way, like when I started a lot of Destruction, I was keeping those keys, and I don't know, like 3 years after my first assassin, I noticed that she didn't need keys to open chests. Um, Okay, now we probably have enough gold to buy a Tome of Identify and a Tome of Town Portal for convenience.
Hello.
Really, you don't need those probably, but I find it more convenient. Oh, I was using the waypoint. I forgot. As you can see, this kind of playstyle, single plus untwinked, takes a lot of time, and probably those who do play differently already would have, I don't know, freed Cain in the meantime. I do not. Yeah. I'm not sure if I should really record all the early gameplay with the character, because it's probably totally uninteresting to see me punch through the first few acts, but some things might be noteworthy, so I do it and you can skip everything you want to skip. Also, I don't know if there's any, well, like kind of rules on YouTube that allow you only a certain amount of footage to put online. I really don't know. If you have any tips on the Assassin and how to play and progress with her, yeah, just drop me in PM or post in the tournament thread. Yeah, that's the stamina issue. I know a lot of people are very aggravated that they included it and they didn't ditch it in the Resurrected version. We will see what they do about that.
Perfect.
In the future. So I have to see that I don't miss to put my first chip toppers in, I noticed. So let me just quickly go out of here. I only have 35 strength so far, but I could already shop a helmet with 2 open sockets, so that's what I will do to get my first upgrade. Another part of those tournament play, of course, is to get the best equipment out of what you find. That includes a lot of shopping, gambling, crafting, and so on. So,
good evening.
If you aren't familiar with that, maybe I can add a few points of insight into that too. I prefer to get a skull cap because of the durability issues. So, this will only get renewed once you leave town. That's another reason to get the waypoint early, because now I don't have to get out until I reach the bridge, but I can jump to the cold plains and back, and that will refresh the inventory. It's probably best to have a town layout where you have your exit here, because then you can just quickly get in and out to charge if need. But without the LAN option, it's really difficult to re-roll your initial map, and I don't want to start the character or create it 3 times in a row just to get the map. I'm back. I had to quickly pause the game because I was interrupted. That might happen more frequently because, as some of you might know, I have 2 kids and a family to care for, so it's difficult to find some time where I can play uninterrupted. Okay, so I was about to shop another
what can I do for you?
Helmet with sockets. Well, another is wrong, the first kind. I could shop at Gates too, because he sells them too. He also does sell not only skull caps but helms too, or helmet, I don't know. But not at this level as far as I know. So my memory isn't as good as it was, and I often have to look up such things as when some vendors do start to sell something or such things, but I know the general, well, kind of theory behind it, and I know when to look it up. So this is the first step towards more magical items. I will sell those. Man, I really have to work on my pronunciation. I just watched some of the video while I paused the game, and yeah, I'm not used to speaking English. I'm very used to listening to English, writing English, reading English, but talking is a very different thing. And as you might have noticed, I do misclick more often too, because I'm so concentrated on speaking English. Maybe I'll do a video in German so I don't have that as a problem. Might be fun too, or at least funny for some to listen to it. Okay. We'll go after the shamans first, because Resurrected means don't give you additional experience. The only exception to that are the Prowling Dead monsters starting in Act 5. Yes, there's Act 5. Those who resurrect themselves, they do give drops and experience if you kill them again. But nothing else. No Fallens, no Foul Crows or something like that. Those all only give experience the first time. Or even not even the first time if they are from kind of a spawning pod or something like that. I don't know what's it called, those trees where those Foul Crows plop out. Those don't give any experience at all. I still click on some of the gold because 20 years of clicking on gold in Diablo doesn't get, well, like, changed easily, just because I can walk over it and pick it up that way. Yeah, some more boots. Well, oh, nice. Another topaz. Just a quick note, it's probably not worth it to pick another chip topaz. That is ridiculous. Now I have to go back and buy my first ring mail, because otherwise I won't be able to use it, and that is really bad. Okay. Problems of the rich, I guess. In the beginning, I usually don't use town portals too often, because honestly they're just too expensive, but I will, well, spare you some seconds of gameplay and use the town portal now. So,
good morning.
This is one of the points where I don't know if it's already available at level 5. There is a great tool called the shopping calculator, and the shopping calculator is not online anymore, but it's findable through the what's it called? The web archive. I don't know if that's the real name for it. And I will use that to determine if it's still one level away till I can shop for the ring mail or not. I really should know that by now, but as I said, my memory is kind of bad. Okay, let's check that for now. Quick pause there, I'll be back in a second. Okay, I am back. As I thought it was character level 6, I wasn't sure anymore, so one level to go to get that ring mail, so no need to shop now because, well, can't find it. I usually identify those charms I find early on and those rare weapons, because they might be way better than what I have now. Okay, +3 to strength is not too good, but well, could be worse too. And well, that's kind of it's a failed unique. As you might notice, it's got a durability of 72, so that's triple durability. So the monster was too low level to drop the unique version, which is sad because that would have been great. But okay, it's still better than what I have equipped right now. I think even with the fast attack speed, there's this very fast attack speed because of the poison damage and the lightning damage. So let's equip that, and yeah, I'll put the Katara away for now. Maybe I use it later, I don't know. Then another of those potions, and that will get stacked away too. So I still haven't found a belt. I usually don't bother buying one early on. Yeah, because you will usually find one. The first time I will need potions is some time away still, so no need to hurry. Yeah, speaking of, and already I am in need of potions. I usually don't let my health get below half of it, because in hardcore that can really be the end of you. thinking, well, I will save this potion for later, I don't need it yet, and boom, there goes your health in one blow because some monster had a critical hit or something like that. You really don't want that to happen. I will go back because from the layout you notice that the cave, or the Den of Evil, goes onto the left, and there's some unexplored area here, and you do have to kill all of the monsters. You already know that already. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking maybe I should tell you more about the tournament, because yeah, or tournaments in general, because tournaments are awesome. I mean, it's the best way to play this game, obviously. Well, in my opinion, but I do think that a lot of people would enjoy the game longer and more if they were used to that kind of gameplay, because often I read from new players like, oh, I don't have that elite gear I need for this build or that build, and I really struggle with hell and so on. But if you progress like this, like single passes, untwinked and full clears, you usually get the equipment you need to get through hell, especially in softcore, where you can die and it doesn't matter much because you only lose experience and gold. So it's really more about patience and the mindset, and not so much about perfect gear, in my opinion. There are people in the single player forum who played like completely a character without equipment at all through hell at players 8. It's doable. It's a chore. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's really well, like a long time it takes you to do, but you can do it. So it's not everyone's style, of course, and not everyone does like it. But if you're not like averse to playing slowly, you really
I am
can get
overburdened.
away with a lot of wacky builds and equipment. Okay, I probably I won't pick up that low quality booklet just now. It's not so much gold. And for the sake of the recording time, I will probably cut down my town trips a bit. What happens often to me in the Den of Evil is that I somehow overlooked a random form that got resurrected, so I usually try to get those killed while doing the first clear, but sometimes I have to go back to it. So, level 6, now what do? We go back to town, and there we will shop us a ring mail with 3 open sockets to put that chip topaz in that we found. The third already,
What can I do
and
for
I'm
you?
not even yet to the cold plains. That's so great. Thank you, Diablo 2. So, no. Here's the ring mail, but not the one with 3 open sockets. So bad for me. I will buy one of the normal belts probably once I find those. Sash of Equilibrium could be good too for starters. Yeah, no. And those ring mails are really expensive, so I probably have to sell some of my more expensive things, like maybe the Grand Charm or something like the potions or a ring even. I will probably sell the Lizard's ring. We will see, because as far as I remember it costs about 3,600 gold. I'm not entirely sure, but that's about it. I also try to get
What you need?
the best use out of my Magic Find equipment before facing the first super unique, like we are about to do in the Den of Evil. because of course they do have the best chances to drop magical rare. Okay, of course they do drop magical items, but rare items, set items, and unique
Good day.
items too. Well, no luck there. So back to the cold plains again, back to the town again, and rinse and repeat until you get your precious
What you need?
ring mail. Well, but I was talking about tournaments, wasn't I? Okay, there are lots of tournaments going on, and the participation has dwindled a bit over the last few years, but
Greetings.
since the advent of Diablo 2 Resurrected, it really will get a new influx of all the new players alike, and the rules loosened up a bit, because earlier on you had to play hardcore, you had to do single pass, so
Good
this
to
really
see
locked
you.
out some of the player base, but now usually we do it more lenient, so there is the option to play softcore and the option to play multipass. It's of course a completely different gameplay that way, but
Good day.
it's astonishing that the results aren't too much apart. And I don't know about you, but I find myself dying more often if I rush the game or don't do full clears,
Greetings.
because I get kind of overconfident, or I didn't clear the path properly, so that I want to retreat and face another boss or mob or something like that,
What you need?
and I'm stuck between two fronts. So yeah, for me, I noticed it was quite safer to play single pass full clear. Of course, your equipment is, well, not as
Good
good,
to see you.
but it's doable. I also don't know if I really should be recording all those shopping trips, because while it is actually a big part of the gameplay for tournaments,
Greetings.
it's actually not so much fun to watch probably. So yeah, I'm eager to hear your ideas about that, and of course I could do some timestamps or
What can I do
something
for
like
you?
that to tell you when to start again to watch. Yeah, but I will record it because I want to see how much time I will be shopping, gambling, and so on, and it's usually hard to track if I
Greetings.
don't record the gameplay. Yes, it's kind of difficult sometimes to find the item you want. It will probably be even more difficult
Good day.
once I try to shop certain things, like certain claw with certain staff mods or something like that. And I sometimes spend like 3 or 4 hours to shop the
Good
item
to
I
see you.
want. In the last tournament, for example, I played a necromancer, a summoner, and in the early game I really did a lot of shopping at Akaris to find that +3 race skeleton and
Good day.
skeleton mastery wand. I only managed a +2, +3 one, but yeah, um, well, you do have to think about if it's worth it. But I really want to
Greetings.
take every edge I can, but don't want to go over the top with like 40 hours of shopping, because yeah, well, then I could have found a +3, +3, but honestly, you could probably manage the game without this wand at all,
Yes.
and it's more like making the game easier. And I wish save those 3 to 4 hours later because of um, the the better skeletons, but
Greetings.
I don't need it to beat the game, of course. Yeah, so those tournaments were what got me into the game,
Good
because
evening.
when I joined the single player forum, I was kind of playing like most people do, like running some areas, experimenting a bit, spreading skill points all over those skill trees and so on. And then I really got
Good to
focused
see
and
you.
tried to, um, well, beat the game in the tournament. And it was an awesome experience. And anyone who hasn't tried a tournament yet should really do it because, yeah, it's such a fresh thing to do, and you have to do some
Yes.
planning. And yeah, there it is. It's almost 4,000 gold. So yeah, let's see if we can get that. I will sell that ring. So. And probably that too, I don't need that. So here is my shiny ring mail. Yeah, you should really do it, because you might notice aspects of the game you really haven't thought about until that moment. Like, I don't know if people who never play tournaments or single pass play really know about the um, Savage Polearm recipe from the cube. It's probably the most important recipe there is for single pass play, and I usually try to get the cube the first thing when I start in Act 2, because if you equip your mercenary with a Savage Partisan or something like that, it really speeds up the game so much. And yeah, I have to admit, some of my gameplays or guardians in tournaments have been only thanks to my mercenary, and I was just the backup for crowd control. Okay, let's kill all those minions first, because maybe one drops Chippetales again, and then we have even more magic find for our big boss, Corpse Fire here. No luck so far, one minion left. Okay, and then Corpse Fire. I really hope I don't, well, kind of embarrass
The
myself
rogue's
by
test
dying
is
to
done.
Cold Crow or something like that. I mean, it can happen to everyone, but it would be really bad if it happened on my first recorded gameplay. Okay, so cleared the Den of Evil, finished every monster, got the waypoint to the Cold Plains. Yeah, instead of using a town portal for 80 gold, I will save and exit now, because I will make a stop here. Oh gosh, look how the topuses make the ringmail shiny. I just go back to town quickly to sell my loot.
Good day.
Okay. I really need to get rid of those minor potions. Okay. There's a scepter. The thing is, it does more damage than the short sword I have equipped, like physical damage. Of course, there's the poison damage from the short sword, and the scepter has a staff mod with the prayer, so repairing might be too expensive. I'll will probably sell it. I don't know yet. I have to think about it some more, but I don't have to do this while recording. Yeah, this will go unidentified, as I said. I will get rid of those two. What is really a nice addition to the Resurrected version of Diablo 2 is that you can control click items to get them quickly from your stash to the inventory and back. Okay. Yeah, I have a lookout for additional equipment for my rogue mercenary, whom I will be hiring at character level 8. Some people might not know this,
Well,
but you can hire
greetings.
a Rogue Mercenary before you defeat Bloodraven. You have to be level 8 to do that. I'm not yet level 8, of course, but that's not far away.
You have cleansed.
Get my skill point, and now I will think about placing my skill points while I am away. And when we continue our journey in the Cold Plains to finish Bloodraven, I will tell you about my thoughts and where to put skill points and what to do with the equipment. But for now, I will end this video. I thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me to give me, like I said, like tips or corrections to my gameplay, to my language. I don't know. I hate the word suggestion, as you might have noticed. I really can't pronounce it correctly. I don't know how you do it, but I don't know. Anyone who finds it funny should try to pronounce the Bavarian word Wachkatzelschwaf, and then we're quit. Or even, I don't think you say we're quit. It's kind of, well, the thing you say in German, we're even about it then. Okay, thank you and see you around, guys. Bye bye.